Well, you know, the people of the United States love the people of Macedonia very much, and the efforts that we make to try to promote the cause of human freedom and human rights there is something that we deeply believe in. And so I want to start out by saying that there's no criticism of the Macedonian people whatsoever. We are very grateful for all of you and for your country. We want to maintain good relationship with your country. The challenge that we've seen is that there's been some questionable funding that the U.S. mission has made to organizations associated with George Soros, which are really the antithesis of many of the things that America believes. And we've tried to get support from the State Department, the U.S. Agency for International Development, to try to get to the bottom of why this funding is occurring in ways that are antithetical to the best interest of Macedonia and that undermine U.S. policy in the world. And the United States has always stood for freedom and for goodwill. And when we see money that was meant to help Macedonia promote those things going to organizations that are supportive of George Soros's idea of the world, where it undermines human freedom and undermines just the human rights that should be a common, ubiquitous reality, then we become very concerned. And the Obama administration was very comfortable with this funding the left-wing civil society groups that really were not for freedom at all. The Obama administration didn't care, but now this new administration cares very much. And there's a U.S. House of Representatives, U.S. Senate, and the new Trump administration want to make sure that the monies that we spend for the U.S. mission to Macedonia helps the Macedonian people. It helps the cause of freedom. It helps the cause of human rights and never undermines it as it's done in the past. No, we haven't gotten any answers at all from the U.S. Embassy in Macedonia, and it's starting to be a very significant concern on our part, and some of us will have to take measures on the funding if we can't make sure that the funding is actually helping Macedonia rather than undermining them. And if we don't want to fund riots and bad things in the streets that hurt the Macedonian people. We want to make sure that the help that we're giving, whether it's financial or diplomatic or whatever it might be, is helping the people of Macedonia live in human freedom and human rights and be able to lay hold on the miracle of life, Yeah. Well, that's the very next step, and we've already made some preliminary discussions about asking the U.S. Inspector General to look into that, and the General Accounting Office as well, to tell us what is happening to the money here that's being sent. And again, the clear indication is that a lot of the money that's being sent to try to help with human rights and to help Macedonia is going to organizations that are related to George Soros, who has the antithesis of trying to help human rights and human freedom. So we want to make sure that we turn that around as soon as we can. Well, we're very concerned about USAID money going to organizations that have been related to George Soros for a long time, not just in Macedonia, but across the world. George Soros has been a committed enemy of American ideals of human freedom for a long time. And for us as Americans to support the organizations that undermine American policy and American ideals of freedom and human rights for everyone is a terrible injustice. It's a terrible, it's a terrible restriction in our efforts here. I didn't say that quite right. For American dollars to go to organizations that are related to George Soros is to undermine our very ideals as Americans. We are committed to human freedom and human rights for all, and George Soros has shown himself to be an overt enemy to American ideals of human freedom and human autonomy and human rights. And so we don't want to see those dollars spent in those directions. Under the Obama administration, that was never a problem. It didn't matter how far left the organization was or how they destroyed the streets or what the riots occurred or how they undermined civil society. It was fine. But under this new administration and under closer scrutiny now, I think that those things have to change, or we're going to have to see what we can do about changing the way the dollars are received. Well, George Soros has been the benefactor of America's economic system in many ways. He at least has, in a way, he's benefited from it indirectly and really exploited it in significant ways. But it's given him tremendous amount of money. And unfortunately, he forgets how mortal we all are and how money is only for a time. And he has chosen to use his time and his money in a way that undermines the cause of human freedom and human dignity. And I want to make sure that we don't do anything to assist that. And he's done that all over the world. He's tried to undermine democracy in America. But we're on to him, and we know what his plans are, and we're going to make it clear that if he wants to spend his dollars undermining human freedom, that we're going to make it clear what he's doing to the world. And, you know, people like George Soros may tyrannize the innocent for a long time, or they may support organizations that see tyranny over innocent humanity. But in the final analysis, they always fail in the judgment of their fellow human beings. And I think that'll happen in his case as well. I guess my message to the Macedonians is very simple. America loves you. We want you to be able to lay hold on the miracle of life and to be free and to be able to pursue your dreams. And we want to do anything that we can to help engender human rights and human dignity in Macedonia. And we hope that you'll keep holding on to the ideals of freedom, because they are the only way home. And just understand that we don't have any effort to ever oppress the Macedonian people in any way. We just want you to have the kind of freedom that we've been so blessed to have in America. And we hope that we can hang on to ours, and hope that you can hang on to yours.